Say I'm not usually into cis men, but this actor, I'm just like, oh my god, I love you. Like, so, basically this dude grew up poor in England at a time where science was the equivalent of, like, rock and roll. So, like, people would go and right? People would go and fill out turns and be like, this dude's gonna blow up some shit! Right. And, like, you know, that was a way to get laid back then, too. So, like, they're all rock stars. So, enter this guy, I don't remember his first name, fucking Davies is his last name.
Science.
He really enjoyed doing laughing gas before going on stage. And what he would say is it gives you all the fun of being drunk with none of the hangover. So,
That's something there. And it's
Totally
safe brain labor.
Why would we do this?
Why doesn't everyone do whippets?
So he goes out, he does all these amazing things with electricity, which had just started to be harnessed because we just figured out really good batteries and really good ways of like making electricity. So there's like sparks flying everywhere and all these kinds of things. And little, what's the name of my person?
Faraday.
Get it together, Rachel!
I'm
nervous.
It hard.
It really is.
You're paying attention. Good.
Okay, so Faraday is sitting there in the stands, just like enraptured. Like, this is the coolest thing ever. And he's writing everything down, just like all of these meticulous notes. And during the day, he works as a bookbinder. He never had a formal education, so instead what he did was, after work, he would read all the books. So he would bind books all day, all night by candlelight, read these books and learned all this stuff about science. Got him amazing.
Go Mikey.
Huh?
I just said go Mikey. Sorry, that was for me.
So he goes up to Davies and, like, this is totally not a crush, but he's like, I bound this book of all of the lectures that you've given me here.
Oh.
And Davies is like, I see an opportunity. So Davies is like, why don't you come on as an assistant? You can write all this stuff down so I can sell it. And so Faraday comes on, and it goes okay, but he really wants to do more work. And then, one day, assistant after assistant, they're testing some weird chemical that we wouldn't use nowadays. Assistants keep getting maimed.
Or in science, as we say, an oopsie.
Right, so Davies is like one day doing an experiment, his eye goes out. So suddenly he's like, well, I need Faraday to help here. So Faraday starts doing experiments, and like fast forward to the part I know about, there's this new experiment where, so back then, they used to only think that like electricity was like water. So you run electricity through a bar, it goes from A to B, but someone had discovered in like the Netherlands that if you put a compass around this bar, it would deflect at 90-degree angles, and everyone was like, what is this shit? so what
like
Faraday did, quick aside, Faraday's super Christian, like ridiculously Christian. His belief was that the more we understand about the world is God showing us his creation, which is beautiful, very good way to go about science. So what he would do is he saw it, and eventually he kind of noticed that the compasses moved like this, like a sail kind of in the wind. And he said, what if there are invisible lines of force coming off of this line of electricity? And everyone's like, no.
Oh, sweet summer child.
Right, so they're like, no, dude. Like, number one, you don't know math. Number two, no. So he writes these meticulous notes. He does all these, like, crazy experiments, proves his point right, makes the first, like, rotating electric thing, which became the electric motor.
Hooray!
He, literally, the words cathode, anode, ion, all these, they're all Faraday. There is a unit of measurement after this guy because he was right. Now, most people in their lifetime never get to be validated. But in his old age, as he's going senile, there's this man named Clerk Maxwell, who you may have heard of, famous mathematician. He took all the Faraday stuff, put it into math, and was like, you're actually a mathematician. And he was like, I'm an old man. But that is the story of Michael Faraday. Questions?
And under 5.
Well done.
Well, indeed.
So well done.
Wow, that was 5 minutes.
Google timer 2 minutes.
Go.
Did he make up the
Hey,
Faraday
hey,
age, or was that made up after?
2 minute timer.
I think it's based off a
Sure,
concept
2
that he
minutes,
figured
and
out.
Okay.
here
Because
we
he
go.
figured out that like if you put something with so basically those invisible lines of force, if you make a circle out of them, no electricity gets in. It's kind of like flowing water. Like it's gonna have to be higher of a flow than that to do it.
Nice.
Yeah. Yes.
You said there was a unit of measurement. Is it called a Michael?
The Faraday. I do not know what it is.
It's actually a centimichael.
It's the no, it's a centimike.
A centimike.
Yes.
Sorry, the sidebar. Yeah, he did invent the Faraday cage. He loved spreading popular science. He founded the concept of popular science.
Yeah.
I would actually do experiments on stage where he put himself inside a Faraday cage to demonstrate to the audience.
A what now, Cage?
A Faraday cage.
Because often I live inside a Valancourt cage, so.
But
In case they shoot electricity
started a
at.
series of lectures for teaching children about science called Faraday lectures, which are still happening every year in London. They happen every year. Really cool.
I want to go now. Okay. Thank you.
Magicians.
Connor's question made me think about time frame. I know it's roughly 1850 to 1900.
Yes.
Is it before Edison? Because this connects to mine actually. Is it before Edison or?
So it's pre-Edison,
Okay.
but I don't know by how much.
Well, I know Faraday was after
Because you
1850.
didn't have the electric motor before.
Right.
that, so.
But by spoiler alert for mine, Edison was showing off and doing pop science before the 1893 World Fair, which I'll do, and that was 1893. Spoiler alert.
Someone's been playing timelines.
So it must be somewhere between 1850 when he actually came up with these concepts, and 1890 when they were.
I'm gonna go pee.